Today, I would like to introduce to you the Talmud's The Struggle of Deborah. I believe this story contains an important message that is relevant to the present day. In a certain village, there was a beautiful girl named Deborah. As a Jew, Deborah studied the Torah diligently. When she reached marriageable age, she was to marry a young man chosen by her parents. However, on the night of the wedding, the groom suddenly died. A few years later, Deborah was to marry another wonderful young man. But on the night of the wedding, the groom suddenly died. And at her third wedding, the groom also died on the night of the wedding. Deborah gave up on the idea of marriage, but after a while, a relative's son came from a distant village and was very much liked by Deborah's parents. The man then said, "I want to marry Deborah." His parents tried to dissuade him by telling him that 3 grooms had died in the past. But he insisted, "I am faithful to God and He likes me. That will not happen." Her parents gave in, and Deborah and the man decided to get married. When God found out about this, He sent the angel of death to earth on the day of the wedding. The angel of death urged the groom to depart for heaven, saying, "I want you to come with me." But Deborah, who had been waiting, stepped in and told the angel of death, "You are the angel of death who has been taking my groom away. Go back to heaven and tell God." The Torah says that when a man is married, he should stay with his bride. Therefore, God cannot take my groom to heaven. The angel of death was surprised and said, "Oh, you are challenging God's decision and challenging Him to an argument." Deborah replied, "Yes. The Torah says that when a man gets married, he must prioritize his family over his career and be with his wife. Kidnapping my husband on our wedding night and taking him to heaven goes against this teaching. Didn't God create the teachings of the Torah? Is God trampling on the teachings He created? If so, I will sue God in a religious trial." She said this in one go and glared at the angel of death. The angel of death hurriedly returned to heaven and asked God for advice. Deborah says she will drag God to court. She says she will settle this in court. "What will you do?" God replied, "Well, I'm in trouble. You don't need to go to Deborah anymore. Go to another girl." Thus, Deborah rescued her beloved husband from the angel of death and lived happily ever after. In this story, God is likened to a person in authority who can take the lives of people at will. The story teaches us to face such people in authority fairly and with our own opinions. However, knowledge is essential to do so. What's important is that Deborah studied hard every day and properly learned the Torah. This doesn't mean that you should just push through your opinion without any knowledge or backing. I think she was able to win the negotiation because she studied and challenged. Even if the talks break down, you can build a relationship of trust with someone. you can have a serious discussion with. Such a person will make a lasting impression on your mind. In negotiations, winning or losing is important, but it's also a measure of whether you can trust someone with whom you can have a long-term relationship. You want to have a capable enemy as your ally.